W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2467, with the release date of Friday, February 7, 2025, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Ham Radio prepares for the first polar orbit space flight. Austria's historic shortwave station is demolished, and hams in Turkey activate in memory of a silent key. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2467 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here's Jim Dameron, NATMW.
Our top story takes us above the North Pole and the South Pole. A ham radio operator is one of 4 astronauts scheduled to orbit the Earth in the weeks ahead via both poles for the first time, as we hear from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
A ham radio operator is one of 4 astronauts who will be aboard the first spaceflight to orbit the Earth via the North and South Poles. The mission aboard the FRAM-2 is scheduled to last anywhere from 3 to 5 days after its scheduled launch sometime after March 1. The spacecraft's name is a tribute to the FRAM, a Norwegian-built ship used on expeditions to both poles during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The space mission's pilot, Robbie Rouge of Germany, is that nation's first female astronaut. She holds the amateur radio call signs LB9NJ and KD3AID. She will transmit SSTV images using the amateur radio equipment on board. Although the images are to be sent as part of a high school and university competition for students, the images may be also received by any amateur radio operator capable of receiving SSTV transmissions. After the mission is complete, the images will also be available for viewing on the SSTV gallery of amateur radio on the International Space Station. This is also an ambitious scientific research mission. Flying an estimated 425 to 450 kilometers above both poles, the flight is expected to present unprecedented views of both polar regions. The crew will conduct a variety of scientific experiments on board. Robbie's crewmates on the Dragon spacecraft will be Commander Chun Wang of Malta, Vehicle Commander Janne Mikkelsen of Norway, and Mission Specialist Eric Phillips of Australia. Additional details about the mission and each crew member can be found by following the link that appears in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
What was once radio history in Austria is now, as expected, reduced to rubble. We have details from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The historic shortwave radio transmitting site at Moosbrunn in Austria has been dismantled. The Austrian newspaper Der Standard reports that the demolition in late January marks the end of a long episode in broadcast history. The destruction was described in the newspaper as, quote, a precise targeted explosion, end quote. The facility, built during the Cold War era, had once been home to Radio Austria International. After Radio Austria went off the air in 2003, the transmitter was used by international broadcasters such as Radio DARC, a program produced by the German National Amateur Radio Society. After the closure of the Moosbrunn site at the end of December 2024, Radio DARC moved to the shortwave station in Wooferton, England, which has been carrying it since January. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
World Radio Day, February 13th, was adopted in 2012 by the United Nations to acknowledge radio's role in people's lives everywhere. Although the focus is usually on broadcast radio services, amateur radio will be involved in some events around the world. This year's theme is Radio and Climate Change. One of the many international events happening involves the Shanghai Coast radio station XSG, which maintains a global maritime distress and safety system, as well as Morse code telegraph services. The station is hosting a 2-day crossband event in which the radio station will communicate via CW with amateur radio operators, with each side transmitting on their authorized frequencies while monitoring the other party's frequencies. The event runs from 0 UTC on the 12th of February to 0 UTC the next day. For a list of amateur radio frequencies that XSG will be monitoring for ham transmissions, see the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Hams in Turkey are remembering a friend and fellow amateur who lost his life 2 years ago when a deadly earthquake rocked the region. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, tells us what they're doing.
Mustafa Asim Eza, Tango Alpha 8 Delta X-ray, was 44 years old, and with his wife, he was eagerly expecting the birth of a daughter in just a few days when a catastrophic earthquake shook Turkey on the 6th of February 2023. They had even picked out the baby's name, Pera. An avid radio operator, mountaineering enthusiast and search and rescue volunteer, Mustafa did not survive the 7.8 magnitude quake, which shook southern Turkey, northern Syria, and neighbouring regions. His fellow amateurs are using the special event call sign Tango Charlie 8 Delta X-ray through the 17th of February to honour the memory of one of their own, a businessman and outdoorsman who gave back so generously to his community. His fellow hams are remembering him as the founder of an amateur radio association in Curram and Murris and an active supporter of many activities on HF and the VHF-UHF bands. Mustafa's final gesture of support to his community came in 2023, shortly before his death. He was among those activating special event station TC100TC to mark the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Republic of Turkey. 2 years later, his fellow hams now mark a more sombre anniversary and remember their friend. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
For the first time in 23 years, amateur radio operators have been granted permission for a de-expedition from a South American archipelago in the Atlantic Ocean. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, has the details.
A de-expedition is going forward to the St. Peter and St. Paul rocks in the Atlantic Ocean after ham radio operators with the Araucaria DX group received permission to operate. The team said that the authority came from the Brazilian Navy, which operates a research station on the archipelago's major islet, Belmonte. The activation of the call sign PY0S will signal the first activation of its kind from the archipelago since the PT0S de-expedition in November 2012. The Araucaria team plans to travel in October or November to the site, which is the 14th amongst Club Log's most wanted DX entities. According to a press release, the hams have a goal going beyond calling QRZ. They said they want to, quote, increase worldwide awareness of this unique rock formation and the role played by the Brazilian Navy in scientific research and study of this extremely difficult and rare environment, end quote. The operation will not be on the rocks themselves. As stipulated by the Navy permit, the team will be on a boat anchored not far from the shore. 5 radios in a box will be used for operating CW, SSB, and FT8 on 160 through to 6 meters. There will be 6 local operators: Adrian, KO8SCA, Fred, PY2XB, George, AA7JV, Mike, KN4EEI, Peter, PY5CC, and Tommy, HA7RY, along with a number of remote operators. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Faced with the upcoming sunset of methods used to calculate fees for repeaters, beacons, and some apparatus amateur licenses, the Australian Communications and Media Authority has finalized small changes it is making. These changes, based on a new methodology, will take effect after the 1st of April sunset of the previous method. The result is that repeaters, beacons, and non-assigned apparatus licenses will be assessed $52.62 annually. The changes do not affect those holding Australian class licenses, which have no annual fees. The ACMA said in its February 5th announcement it has not yet finalized its apparatus license tax reforms for radio navigation satellite service repeaters. Time to identify your station. We're the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Montgomery Amateur Radio Club's KV3B repeater, Rockville, Maryland, on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. local time. Life is good in one senior living community in Maryland, where retirees have a small but active ham club and respectable log of contacts. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, tells us about them.
The Charlestown Amateur Radio Club, KB3CAN, has an outlook that is anything but retiring. With only a small membership in a Maryland retirement community, the club recently completed Winter Field Day with 95 digital and SSB contacts in their log. Last summer, members were active in the ARRL Field Day and the Maryland QSO Party. The club has something else to celebrate, the second year since its rebirth on the grounds of Charlestown Senior Living, a nonprofit retirement community in suburban Catonsville that provides continuing care ranging from independent living to skilled nursing. Club President Gary Rogers, KO3F, said that although the community has a long history of having an amateur radio club, the original club had to be dismantled more than a decade ago to accommodate building renovations. When Gary moved there in 2022 and discovered that his apartment's construction made it difficult to get on the air easily, he met with two members of the original club to start things up again. Gary told Newsline in an email that the administration wasn't just on board, but became part of the rebirth. He said, quote, "The administration not only approved, but assigned their maintenance staff to run the coax through the conduit to the roof and install the antennas with me supervising," end quote. Installations were completed by November of 2023. Everything from the grounding system to ensuring the roof warranty was not compromised by the presence of antennas. There are 10 club members ranging from their 70s to their 90s. Gary said the club recently developed the capability to do WinLink, a global email system that uses radio frequencies instead of the internet. The club's next step is to explore how members can get on the air remotely from their apartments. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
You have until the 28th of February to nominate your favorite ham radio open source software project for the 6th Annual Amateur Radio Software Award. This international honor promotes free, innovative software that enhances the ham radio experience. Past winners include David Rowe, VK5DGR for Codec 2, Anthony Good, K3NG for Arduino CW Keyer, and Jonathan Shearer, KN4CRD for JS8 Call. Find award rules and the official nomination form at arsaward.com. In the world of DX, Mika OH2FFP is operating as OJ1ABOA from ABOA Research Station, Antarctica, IOTA number AN016, until the 12th of February. QSL via OH2FFP. Listen for Bruno VE3BRU operating as S79/VE3BRU from Mahe, IOTA number AF024, Seychelles until the 20th of February using CW and SSB on 40 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Bernhard, DL2GAC, is using the call sign H44MS from Malaita, IOTA number OC047 in the Solomon Islands between the 9th of February through to the 7th of May. He'll be calling QRZ on 80 through 6 meters using SSB and FT8. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The special event call sign II3MPL is on the air through the 1st of May, marking the 50th anniversary of ARI Miran IQ3MP. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Marty, KE4TT, is on the air as P4/KE4TT from Aruba, IOTA number SA036, until the 11th of March, using CW, SSB, and FT8 on various HF bands. See QRZ.com for QSL details. For this week's final story, we tell you about one SOTA activator's highest summit of achievement. It's actually no bigger than a card that could fit in his wallet. We hear about him from Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
Ray, KD8EQA, is still a few weeks away from achieving mountain goat status as a SOTA activator. But even in the 3+ years he's been involved in summits on the air, the Colorado ham has found many kinds of meaningful recognition, most of them with a connection to animals. As a SOTA chaser, he received a Rooster Award from his friend Steve, WG0AT, after 50 successful contacts with activators on Mount Herman. This unofficial honor was granted in memory of Steve's two beloved goats, Peanut and Rooster. Ray later became an official shack sloth, achieving 1,000 points chasing summits throughout Colorado. As both the elevations and Ray's point score began to soar, so did his enchantment with the natural beauty around him. Becoming a ham in 2021, it didn't take long for the avid hiker to step out with his portable gear. His first SOTA activation was on Mount Antero, a so-called 14er, for its 14,000+ feet above sea level. Enchanted by nature's vistas and animals, from moose to hummingbird, Ray has had his share of what he considers wow moments. What he received in June of 2023 has no equal in his eyes. It was not the 4 points he got that day for his activation on Devil's Head Summit. No, Ray was in the National Forest specifically to visit the active fire tower, where Ashley, the tower's lookout officer, had promised to present him with a card bestowing membership in something the Forest Service called the Ancient and Honorable Order of Squirrels. An internet search shows that, at least since the 1940s, the forest lookouts have presented these cards at active fire towers around the U.S. to raise the public awareness of the perils of forest fires. To Ray, there is no greater honor than being a card-carrying Forest Service squirrel. The card is a tangible reminder of all that was once good in our world for so long ago and still surrounds us now. I cherish this, he told Newsline, quote, "It is one of the most valuable things I own," end quote. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
What? You haven't sent in your amateur radio haiku yet for Newsline's Haiku Challenge? Take a break. Go QRT for just a few minutes. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format. A 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the third. Share your ham radio experience poetically, and then submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. With thanks to the ACMA Amateur Radio Daily, David Bayar, K7DB, DurStandard.de, 425DX News, the Fram2 website, Gary Rogers, KO3F, Patch.com, RadioReference.com, Radio World, SpaceFlightNow.com, SW Elling Post, TADX.org, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org. And know we appreciate you all. We also remind listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, NATMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8VPV. Repeater.
This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by amateur radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 and ask for 5 more until the activity slows down, and then I'll go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The band exploration net this evening will be on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz, plus or minus QRM. Okay, here are the announcements. This Wednesday, that's February 12th, at 7:30 p.m., will be the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club meeting. And you can attend in person at Pilgrim United Church. You get to the meeting by going to its parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard, and then go into the building off the corner of the parking lot. If you can't attend in person, you can attend on Zoom and be an active participant. The link for the Zoom meeting is on our website at www.cfarc.org, and then scroll down the right side of that page to February 12th, and you'll see the link there for the Zoom meeting. If you're attending in person, we ask that you bring one canned good item as a token of appreciation for that organization allowing us to use their facility for our meeting. I see that the chattering relay came out today or yesterday, and there's some interesting articles in there. It shows the winter field day activity that we had, and it also shows about W8KL living nearby. Let's see, I think that's all that I have in way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for any members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, since the newsletter got published, it's time for everybody to think about articles if they're interested. Otherwise, you know, it looks kind of dull. I don't have anything else, John. It's freezy, cold, and just all around yucky weather here in Northeast Ohio. AC8XO, back to net.
Yeah, thanks, Vince. Yeah, it's not too nice outside there, so stay on the warm side of the door. Okay, thanks for checking in. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
W8ECT, go ahead, Frank.
Good evening, John, everybody out there. As you said, we have a meeting coming up this Wednesday. We have quite a list of things we're going to be covering, so if you want to help steer your club for the next year, this is the meeting to attend. Let me pause for a second and get a swallow of pop. Okay, in addition to covering Winter Field Day, we'll kind of review how things worked, look at some pictures. I think most of them showed up in the newsletter, but may have another picture or two. We'll be talking about Summer Field Day. That's coming up in about 4 months. We're starting to work on that. We'll be talking about the Hamfest, getting some decisions made about door prizes, whether or not we're going to do a 50-50 raffle. We need to start asking for who's going to be doing some of these things. We'll be looking at plans for the clubhouse. We'd like to do a shack cleanup maybe on the 4th Wednesday this month. We're thinking about a second antenna. What do you think it should be? Looking for ideas there. The ARRL DX contest is coming up the end of this month, beginning of February, I'm sorry, get it right, third time, the beginning of March, between the end of February and beginning of March. We are looking at possibly doing an event up at the clubhouse again, so looking for people who might be interested in participating in that. We'll re-announce this at the meeting, but we could use some donated equipment. We could use another table or two for the clubhouse. We definitely could use a bookcase. If anybody has an old bookcase they're not using, doesn't have to be anything big, we sure would appreciate it. We're also looking for some people who would basically participate in club activities with us. We'd love to have and identify a club photographer. If you maybe have a hobby of photography, we sure would enjoy hearing from you. And you know, if you could show up at our various events, take pictures, and provide them for newsletters, the website. We have a hallway with that we need to put some pictures in, things like that. Repeater, timeout. Time. Repeater out.
Talking about pictures, Frank.
Okay, we could use a club photographer. Let's see here, what else? We're looking at possibly doing the Tailgate Hamfest. I've not seen anything about the Maslin Summer Ham Fest yet, and if they're not going to do it, maybe we've got an opportunity to start doing the Tailgate Ham Fest again. Those of you who've done it in the past know how much enjoyable that is, and it's a fairly easy setup. And finally, we're looking at offering an extra class set of lessons starting probably in March, beginning of March, and going up through a little bit before the Dayton Ham Convention. We'd skip the Easter weekend. So lots of things going on. I'd like to see everybody out at the meeting. Again, as you said, we'll be both doing a Zoom and an in-present meeting. So if you can make it, please consider attending. This is an opportunity to help steer your club and tell us what you want to see about it. All right, that's all I got, John. We'll sit back and we'll let you collect some check-ins. W8ECT, back to net.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Yeah, that's the Mansfield Trunk Fest that I haven't seen listed yet. So there was some word going around that maybe they're not going to have it. So that's an opportunity for us, maybe. Thanks. Okay. Anything else, Frank?
That's all I got for now. As I say, an exciting week coming, or discussion coming up. So by all means, if you can make it Wednesday, please show up. Back to net, W8ECT.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that sounds like we're going to have a good time there Wednesday. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing any. This is John, WO3X at the mic, operating as Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I'll take 5 check-ins now. Call signs only, let me confirm each call. And this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
K8PU?
Yes.
K8PU, and there was somebody else in there also? It was kind of scratchy there. Could you repeat that, please? I heard KS at the end, I think.
Echo 8, Foxtrot Kilo November.
Okay, I got Whiskey 8 Foxtrot Zulu November. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
November 8, America, Charlie Papa, Chris, Cadillac Hill, in and out.
E8 FKN, Ron. Just checking in, KE8 FKN.
Okay, KE8 FKN, in and out. I got N8ACP in and out. And before that, I got W8FZN. We'll get back with you there. Another check-in, please.
Hello, Bravo 8 Victor, Hotel Kilo, John and Kenmore, in and out.
B8VHK, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Delta 8, Golf Yankee, Sierra.
KD8GYS, I have you. Let's see, what do we have? I'll take a couple more. I didn't get anything out of that, but that maybe Jesse, is that right?
Kilo Echo 8, Zulu Papa X-Ray. No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay, no, you're real here this evening. Okay, I got KE8 ZPX, and okay, we'll go from here. Okay, so Larry, K8PU, go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
John, everybody on the net, oh boy, glad the ice melted. Couldn't even hardly step out of the house, but sun came out in a few minutes. We were making progress. Kind of nice, lucky. Anyways, no big news here, and look forward to Wednesday night, and get you over on 10 here in a little bit, John. So if I don't see you sooner, save me a seat. Back to you, W8VP, VVVKPU.
Okay, Larry, I'll save you a seat. Thanks for checking in, 73, and maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters. Okay, next was W8FZN. Go ahead with your comments.
I believe that call was wrong. I think that was the FKN I told you about. FKN. Back to you, back to net W8EZT.
Okay, let's see here. W8FKN, is that your call there? Go ahead, if so.
I think it was KE8FKN.
Oh, no, I have him as in and out. There was one after Larry that I thought was W8FZN, but he was kind of scratchy. Well, I'll mark him as in and out. W8FKN or FZN. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. I have you on the log here. I'm marking you as in and out. Okay, so N8ACP was in and out. KE8FKN was in and out, and let's see, KB8 VHK was in and out. So that takes us to KD8 GYS. Go ahead with your comments.
GYS. Good evening, John, and everybody out there on the net. Been a while. We was laid up for a while, and we're in a facility in Medina area after open heart surgery. So good to get back on the air, and good to hear your voice there as well. We'll let you continue on and doing a fine job as usual. KD8GYS, the name here is Fred.
Oh, Fred, yeah. Yeah, hey, the 6-meter net there on Sundays is still going. Let's see here. Brian, KFAG, takes the net on the odd-numbered Sundays, and I take it on the even-numbered Sundays. So it's still going, and you really did a fine job on that back in the old days there. We don't get anywhere near the number of check-ins that you used to get, but it's still going. Over.
Okay, John, real fine. Glad to hear that, and thanks for the kudos there. But it was a pleasure on my end, that's for sure. So we'll let you continue, and we'll be on this net as often as we can. We'll say 73s, KD8GYS, clear.
Okay, Fred, thanks. Good hearing from you, and continue to get better there. So 73. Okay, so next was KE8ZPX. Go ahead with your comments, and correct me if I have your call wrong.
KE8ZPX, this is at the meeting on Wednesday. 73 East.
Okay, Jesse. Yeah, I had your call, right? Yeah, okay. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is John, WO3X, at the mic for the Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor Monday night VHF UHF net. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Alpha Victor Delta KF8 ABD Tony down the valley. In and out tonight.
Okay, Tony, I have you in and out. Thanks. Thanks for checking in and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
KE8ULA Leo Cell. In and out.
KE8ULA Leo, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
KE8ULCQR, checking in.
Okay, there was a double there. I got Keith, KE8TQR, and who was the other one in there?
That would be Kurt at KE8ULC.
KE8ULC. Okay, Kurt. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
KE8KVI, in and out.
KE8KVI, in and out. Thanks, Ron, for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
KF8CUA, Hurricane Stowe, in and out.
What was that call sign again?
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Charlie Uniform Alpha.
KF8CUA. Okay, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie, November.
W8RCN, I have you. And let's see, we'll go with one more. Okay, I'm not hearing any more at this time. Let's go up to Keith, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8VPV, this is KE8TQR. Good evening, John. Thanks for taking my check-in. Good evening to everyone else here on the net. Good to hear everybody tonight. No, it was a quiet day here at the QTH. Didn't go anywhere. Well, I got up this morning and I looked outside and saw that everything was covered with ice. And I just sat out on the patio looking outside, drinking my coffee, and thankful that I did not have to go anywhere. So just did some chores around the house. Sometimes I have to do my chores because the wife says as long as my chores are done, I can play radio. So got to keep her happy. And all us married guys know this. But anyway, I did some of the things I needed to get done. Then I did work down here in the shack. I'm still working on putting the shelf over the radio so I can get all the stuff that's on top of them off of them. But I still have a little bit more to do on that. Hopefully, I'm doing some, it's out in the garage I'm working on it because I don't want to do it down here with the radios. And it needs to be a little bit warmer. But it wasn't too bad with the sun out. That's about all I got. So I'll send it back to you, John. Thanks for running the net tonight. And we will just say, this is KE8TQR 73, and God bless.
Okay, Keith, very good. Sounds good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Kurt, KE8ULC. Go ahead, Kurt, with your comments.
This past week, I was fortunate enough to go out with a friend of mine who lost his job in YRC. There he's doing DoorDash to try to make ends meet with his insurance until he actually can retire with Medicare. I was interested to see the generosity is inversely proportional to the neighborhood where he delivered. My grandmother once said to me, who was a server most of her life, that if you could not afford a tip, then perhaps you should not go out to eat at all. I am encouraged to see you all at the next club meeting. See you there. And back to you, John, at W8VPV.
Okay, Kurt, very good. Yeah, we'll see you there on Wednesday. Okay, next is Jim, WA8RCN. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic.
John, W8VPV from Whiskey Alpha 8 Radio, Charlie, November. Good evening to you and everyone on the net. Just thought we'd say hi and check in and give you another number here. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thanks for checking in. And I haven't made much progress in getting that X7 up. I still have to run the coaxes in the house here, so that's what's going on with that. Okay, so that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. I'll take you one at a time now.
K8WTK.
K8WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
W8VPV, K8WTK, the West Talmadge Kilowatt. Not much going on here. Ice storms seem to be following me lately. And I ran away from home earlier in the week to last week, in about the middle of the week, to go down to West Virginia and Virginia and spend some time down there. And, of course, we had an ice storm down there. I come home, we have an ice storm up here. I'm getting tired of them. They're pretty in the morning, but I just as soon be done with them. Waiting for the ice to melt so I can go out there and work on the Delta Loop a little more. Got the balun out there, and the SWR is pretty good, but I want to fiddle around with, do I like it vertical or horizontal polarized? So we'll play around with that when the weather warms up. W8VPV, K8WTK.
Okay, Bill, sounds like fun there with that Delta Loop there, so good luck with that, and I'll say 73 and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements. Okay, the Chattering Relay newsletter came out, and take a look at that, and you can see things about a nearby amateur radio neighbor to our clubhouse, and also about the winter field day activities that we had there. And let's see here, the meeting, next meeting will be this Wednesday. That's February 12th at 7:30 p.m. If you attend in person, please bring a canned good item. And to get to the meeting, it is at the Pilgrim United Church in Cuyahoga Falls, and that has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going to its parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard, and then go into the building off the corner of the parking lot. And that starts at 7:30. And if you can't attend in person, you can attend as an active participant using Zoom. So go to our webpage, www.cfarc.org, and on that main page there, on the right side is a list of dates, and so click on, scroll down to February 12th there, and click on the Zoom link there, and you can get into the meeting. Again, that's 7:30 p.m. This Wednesday, February 12th. During that meeting, we'll be discussing, besides the winter field day activity that we did, we'll also be talking about the summer field day and about the Hamfest, and maybe some activities that we want to do on the clubhouse itself. So and maybe an additional antenna. So think about what kind of antenna we would want to add. Right now we have a wire antenna that's pretty good on 80 through 15 meters, but it's not good above that. So 10 meters and up is not usable on that antenna. So think about that as a discussion item at the meeting. Okay, let's see, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
This is Kilo Echo 8 Papa Whiskey Tango, James Cuyahoga Falls. I'll be in and out this evening.
KE8PWT, James. You're on one of my walk routes there. I go for like a 5-mile walk, and your place is right on my return trip there. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. KE8ULA, go ahead, Leo.
Yeah, thanks, John. Hey, can I get a signal report from you? KE8ULA.
There's some noise along with you, background noise, and your audio is a little low, but you're completely readable. Over.
Okay, yeah, it's got a new radio here. It's a new Mosley, and I'm just got it in the shack here. Just trying it out. I just want to make sure I'm getting a signal out there. How's it sound now? I'm surrounded by a lot of the computer equipment and stuff here, power supplies and that, so I don't know if it's picking up any of that noise, or if it's just coming over the mic, all that background noise. KE8ULA.
No, the background noise is because the signal is not real strong. It's not coming through the microphone. Over.
Okay, yeah, copy that. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll check that microphone gain on this, maybe, and check my power output. All right, yeah, thanks for the radio signal report there, John. KE8ULA.
Yeah, you're coming in plenty good to tell exactly what you're saying. But it's just that the signal sounds a little on the weak side and the audio is a little bit low, that's all. But it's completely readable. Okay, so good luck with that, Leo, and have fun with that. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any, and preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 19 check-ins, counting myself, and return the repeater to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:06 p.m. And we'll be on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband starting at 9:30.
WO3X KDAGYS.
Go ahead.
I just got a couple questions. I've only got a J-pole in here. Does this unit sound okay?
Oh, yeah. Is this Fred, KDAGYS?
Roger.
Yeah. Are you still in Sterling?
Oh, we are in just on the outskirts of Medina.
Oh, okay, yeah, because your signal was real good into this repeater.
That's all I wanted to know was I want to be on the air here as much as I can as time goes by here, as long as I'm in this facility. So thanks much. Appreciate all that you do, and glad that you're still got 6 meter going and all that. Maybe we can get back onto that at some point in time. So 73's, you have a great day. KDAGYS will be clear.
Okay, Fred, thanks a lot for checking in, and it's really good to hear from you there. So 73, this is WO3X. I'll be clear.
like to answer tonight's net question? And do you have any traffic?
Yeah, I got some traffic when you get a chance. And I didn't notice any problem because it's too darn cold in here to operate in the wintertime. So I was busy watching TV.
They make portable heaters. I got one running down in my basement right now because sometimes it gets a little chilly down here. But anyways, I got you down for traffic. We'll get a couple more check-ins, and I'll come right back to you. All right, who would like to be next?
KF8 DFD, David and Boardman.
KF8 DFD. Good evening, David. Sounding good. And would you like to answer tonight's net question? Go ahead.
No problems at all.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Who would like to be next?
K8 PRR, Mike in Austintown with traffic.
Okay. I had a double. Mikey won out. The other station to stand by. K8 PRR. Would you like to answer tonight's net question? Go ahead.
Well, the internet's still up there, but I haven't on much to see if it actually okay. But I'll say it's okay for right now.
All right there, Mike. And again, I'll come right back to you. The person that doubled with Mike, would you like to try it again, please?
W8DPG, Don in Cornersburg.
W8DPG. Sounding good there, neighbor. Thanks for joining us, Dawn. Would you like to answer tonight's next question? Go ahead.
Yeah, no problems that I know of from the ice. My antenna didn't come down, so I guess that's good.
Yeah, that's all. Like I said, I heard you on the input with Mike, but Mike beat you out on the repeater. But thanks for joining us there, Dawn, and thanks for answering the question. All right, let's take a little break. Let's go back up to Scott, KE4 UHC. Go ahead with your traffic there, Scott.
Good evening to you, Ed, and everybody on the net. Just want to remind you that Thursday at 7 o'clock is our meeting at the GOP at 8381 Market Street in Boardman. We're across from the hospital. Come early because the guys meet up at Bruno Brothers there and have a slice pizza or something, and then come to the meeting. But Dave would shoot me if I didn't do this, and he wants you to know at our January meeting we will have a virtual visit from Patrick Boland, KJ7CSU. Patrick is the headhunter at Geocron, the maker of the Geocron World Block. Digital 4K takes the territorial beauty of our mechanical clocks into the digital realm of glittering 4K resolution. The digital Geocron is unconstrained by physical gears and assembly, so it is much more affordable, constantly evolving with more assets, layers, and live data than ever before. Hopefully we'll see you at the meeting. Thanks, Ed, KE4 UHC.
there, Scott. Sounds like it's going to be an interesting presentation. I know when those first came out, those were quite expensive, so a digital version should be a little bit more affordable. Anyways, does anyone have any questions for Scott for the upcoming club meeting? Please call. Go to Mike, K8TRR, see if you have any more information other than what Scott gave. Go ahead there, Mike.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Hello, everybody out there. Scott took all my information that I was going to say. However, I will add that I went to their website, and they do have some interesting looking things. And I think it should be a rather interesting meeting on Thursday. So if you can't be there in person, send an email or Scott will put you on the list and send you a Zoom link. So we're going together. Hope to see everybody there. And Ron, back to that. All the members. Thank you for joining us, and would you like to answer that question? Go ahead.
No problems.
All right. Thank you there, Bob, and thanks for joining us. Who would like to be next?
David Ellsworth.
WV. Good evening, Dave. Sounding good from Ellsworth, and would you like to answer tonight's that question? Go ahead.
No problems whatsoever with antennas. Back to net.
Okay, very good. So far, only been a couple of us solved some issues. So, all right. Thank you, Dave. And who would like to be next?
WB8, YHD, Frank and Poland Township, and I've got traffic whenever you've got a minute. Good evening to everybody on the net.
WB8, YHD, good evening, Frank. Sounding good. And would you like to answer tonight's net question? And I do have you down for traffic.
Sure, Ed. I think what I heard was, did the rain or the ice impact any of my antennas outside? And to my knowledge, the answer is no. I was on the air yesterday and the day before, both 8 shafts and 2 meters, and everything seemed fine. In fact, everything still has a coating of ice right now. The temperature never got high enough to melt the ice. And while it was raining, I don't seem to recall having any problems. So even with open wire feed to a 80-meter loop, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that because that's my newer antenna. not had too much experience with that in either the rain or freezing weather. So I was happy to see that. Thanks very much, Ed. Back to net control, WB8YHD.
All right, Frank. Thank you for answering the question. And I thought there might have been someone that tried to get in the same time you did. Did someone try to double with Frank? Please try it again, please.
This is KE8 UBF, Kilo Echo 8 Uniform Bravo Foxtrot.
KE8 UBF. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. And can you give me a first name and where you're located? And if you could answer tonight's net question.
Yeah, I'm Bob. I'm located out on Turner and Kirk, out here by Meanderwood, and I have no external antennas.
Okay, no problem there, Bob. So you didn't have to deal with the ice causing possible problems. That's a good thing. Anyways, thanks for joining us. All right, let's go back up to Frank and let him do his traffic. WB8YHD. Go ahead there, Frank.
Okay, thanks very much again, Ed. WB8YHD. Want to remind everybody, you should have gotten an email. If you're an Aries member, Mahoning County Aries member, you should have gotten an email from Mahoning County Aries addressing our upcoming training session, February 22nd. That's Saturday, February 22nd, from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon at the Newport Branch Library on Market Street. We'll be in their large meeting room. This will be an important all-hands meeting. Actually, not as much training, more an all-hands meeting. But the training aspect of it, we will be kind of debuting our Mahoning County task book. That'll be an important tool in our upcoming training program here in Mahoning County for Aries. And we have our task book coming together. We'll be debuting it that Saturday, February 22nd. So if you can make the meeting, please try. The email contained a link. We are now trying to get who's going to make it and who's not only so that we get enough things printed up for those that do attend, but also we know who's not making it. We've had folks ask for different times for meetings, and we're going to try and accommodate that, but we won't know if you don't tell us that you're not coming, or what's a more convenient time, and we might get some stuff out there to try and find a better time for meetings. But we'll keep you posted, but put it on your calendar, February 22nd, Newport Library, 10 until noon, Aries all-hands meeting, where we want to hear from you, our Aries members here in Mahoning County, and also to get your first look at the Mahoning County Aries Task Book. February 22nd, 10 to noon, at the Newport Library. That's what we've got. Back to net control. Thanks again, Ed.
Okay. Very good there, Frank. Does anybody have any questions as far as any of the stuff that Frank brought up about the upcoming Aries meeting? Please call.
KHNW, where's Newport?
Let me see if I have it. The Newport Library, Newport Branch Library, is just north of the intersection of Market Street and Midlothian Boulevard on the west side of the street. If you're heading toward town from Midlothian Boulevard, it'll be on your left. Very nice, brand new building, great meeting rooms, typical of most of the library locations. We're looking forward to it. It'll be the first time we're using that location, but every library location, meeting room we've used has been an excellent location. So it's just north of the intersection of Market Street and Midlothian Boulevard in Youngstown, on the west side of the street.
Repeater.
Okay, thanks a lot, Frank.
WB8YHD.
KB8GAE.
KB8GAE. Go ahead there, Rich.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. While we were quizzing Frank, I have a question for him related to Ron's question about any discounts at the club meeting this Thursday. Did Dave give you some tickets to pass out, Frank?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Rich. I was going to make a mention of it, and I forgot. Yeah, we do have discount cards. I'm not sure what the amount of the discount is. I'd have to take a look at them. But the Geocrom folks were nice enough to send those along to Dave. Dave got them to me, and as long as my memory works, I'll have them at the meeting. And any member that's interested in Geocrom products can obviously take advantage of that discount. One of the benefits of being involved in the Mahoning Valley Amateur Radio Association.
All right, that's all good information, and coupons are always good. All right, I got you down there, Rich, KD8GAE. Would you like to answer that question, Rich? Do you have any traffic?
Good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, the ice storm here didn't really amount to too much. We got a light coating on everything, no tree that was down, anything like that. Didn't affect the antennas at all. What I did find slightly unusual, though, a lot of times, you know, because that's right around the freezing temperature, if stuff melts off, you know, later the same day or the next morning when the sun comes out, my trees are still like stuff.
Yeah, and mine are too, and actually my antennas still have a light coating on there. Like I said the other day, it was pretty thick. But, yeah, it's just something to be aware of. It can affect your operation there. Again, did you have any traffic about the upcoming VE test session? Anybody interested? You want to expand on that?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a ways out. That'll be in March, but we'll have VE testing the first Wednesday there in March. I have had one person email me that reserved a spot, and we've got a good class going. We had one person test out already and cleared a general. We've got an 11-year-old boy that seems to be doing well, and I'm real hopeful that he's got a good shot. And a couple other students doing real well. So we'll need some VEs there the first Wednesday in March, and look forward to hearing some new people on the air there, Ed.
Oh, very good. Like you said, before you know it, it's going to come up here pretty quick. And, you know, anybody that's thinking about, you know, getting their license or upgrading, that's a good time. Like Rick said, March 5th, we open up the doors at 6:30, and everybody's welcome. All right, thank you for that, Rich, and let's go back to take some more check-ins. Anybody else out there that'd like to join our net, please call Net Control, K8NSW.
Good evening, Ed, and everybody on the net. This is KD8JMO, Roy in Canfield. No traffic.
KD8JMO. Good evening, Roy. Sounding good as always. And would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, my antennas seem to be in parameters, so everything seems to be okay. KD8JMO, back to net.
Okay, thank you there, Roy. And before I forget, I want to remind everyone, you want to stay tuned. Immediately following the net is the AR Newsline. Frank puts that on for us and does a good job, and it's always a good listen. So AR Newsline, immediately following the net. Okay, anybody else out there who would like to check in?
WTK.